Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to be against this motion. Certainly not for any reason I have anything against Indigenous people, certainly. I think we can all relate to the idea behind this motion. But what it comes down to is human beings are, for me, human beings are capable of evil. We're capable of evil. We're capable of it on an individual level. But when it gets real dangerous is when we find ourselves on the group level. And we've divided ourselves into groups. Well, 500 years ago, the whole world was divided into groups. They didn't understand anything about each other. They didn't know anything about each other's cultures. They didn't speak the same language. Groups kill each other. That's what happens. Eventually, they become combative. To me, we've come so far since 500 years ago. I think if we really think about it, every person back then, I mean, we would consider them just uneducated ruffians if they were around right now, because they were uneducated. They didn't know anything about each other, and they were in survival mode. I don't care who Christopher Columbus was. I'm not defending genocide and murder, but we're also blaming him for it. I think that the longer we continue to divide ourselves into these groups, these small groups, the further we get back towards a situation that we're in thousands of years, hundreds of years ago at this point. We're so far beyond that. This is the most successful experiment at coming together and living together that has ever been done, this country. It's the most successful one. I think the only groups that we need to settle ourselves into are Llewellyans, Americans, and humans. All of this evil and genocide that has happened in the past, it was humans that did that. Not white humans, not black humans, not any other humans. Humans are capable of evil when groupthink happens. And we're starting to get into groupthink. I don't think anybody in this room disagrees with celebrating the culture of Indigenous people. It's all part of American culture. That's what American culture is. There's a lot of Native culture involved in American culture. There's a lot of African American. There's a lot of Asian culture. And I mean, every European nation, it's American culture. We're humans, and we're Llewellyans. And I think we don't need to start dividing ourselves back into groups, and I think this is where it's leading. Ms. Desmond, do we have curriculum currently that discusses Native Americans and their contributions to this country and everything? I mean, it is part of our curriculum currently that our students learn about, right? Yes. So I'm not going to support this motion, but I certainly will. Another thing I want to mention is that the United Nations did this a long time ago. World Indigenous People Day is August 9th. I would certainly suggest that we could have some sort of celebration at the beginning of school for Indigenous people, and to learn about their culture and bring it into our classrooms a little bit more if we want to. But I won't be supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Martin?